hells yeah. You know it's 4 o'clock on, Thursday? I lose track of the days anymore because we're living in an actual apocalypse. My name is Brian Brushwood. This is the Night Attack Happy Hour. A little less happy than it should be because we don't have one Justin Robert Young joining us. But I'm sure he will try to join us midstream. And I just realized I'm sending out audio to the wrong place. And let me hit some buttons and see if that fixes everything. There we go. Hey, beautiful people. How are you guys? This is quite literally the hardest thing I can think to do is talk alone to a microphone. So I'm hoping you guys in the chat are going to join us. Not a lot happened today, but it was a great day. So how can I put this? Tuesday was a very, very busy day. We did a lot of good. We did our charity live stream. We were able to raise thousands of dollars to help those who were affected by COVID here in Austin, Texas. It was a great proof of concept that we're able to run our little studio as if it were a television show. Yesterday, I think we talked about this, bit more frustrating. Had to deal with the fact that not every episode of The Modern Rogue goes according to plan, sometimes so terribly far off from plan that it will serve only as a cautionary tale that will belong in a future episode of Modern Rogue. But I ended the day yesterday exhausted, sunburned. I got scratches all up and down my arm because essentially I did a bunch of yard work, calling it entertainment somehow. But then today I got up and I had one of those delightful moments. I had a production meeting for a potential TV thing that went really, really well, got me really, really excited. So I've got a bit of homework to do, but and you guys stop me if you recognize this. There's that moment that you realize, oh, I've got a lot of work to do. Also, there's no possible way I can begin that work until this other thing has to happen. So there's, we'll say around 1 o'clock, the realization that I have real work to do. I have real homework. The knowledge that I can't possibly get it done and get anything substantially finished before the 4 o'clock happy hour. And so what happens in that middle ground? You think to yourself, well, I mean, I got to fill the time with something. So for me, it was hopping online and playing Hearthstone. It was a freaking blast, man. We had like 50 of you guys show up, and it didn't hurt that we went on a total crushing, soul-rending destroyer fest. I want to say that we won like 80% of the games. It was a blast. But I am aware that the bill's going to come due. We're going to finish this live stream at some point when Justin calls in. We'll chat it up. And then once that's done, I've got a lot of homework. We have to release a new Modern Rogue episode. I'm saying those words as if it's not something I should already be completely thrilled about. That's one of those things that I guess is a pet peeve of mine, is when somebody adopts the tone of, well, what are you going to do? We're stuck here doing this. And then they go on to describe the problems that come along with doing the thing they'd always wanted their entire life to do. As I am fond of telling people, there's only one time in your entire life that you have no problems, and that's when you are dead. So short of that, the best thing you can hope for your entire life long is to constantly be trading up for a more interesting set of problems. So, in that regard, I have a very interesting set of problems, including right now keeping the live stream alive all by myself. So, if you guys want to throw some questions in the chat, let's see, what do we got? B. Cofford asks if I'm going to go on vacation again. I'll tell you what. I don't know if I'm going to go on vacation again. Vacation in air quotes. That was code for doing a Hollywood project. But I do know that I am better equipped emotionally. I know that the skills that are required to go to Hollywood and do a project have never been better honed than they are right now. I've never found myself much like, you work out by putting yourself in extreme circumstances and building up muscles for it. Not actual muscles. My actual muscles are gone. But the point is, mentally speaking, storytelling wise, emotionally speaking, I've never been better prepared to pitch a Hollywood project. And I actually really, really hope that we get to do that. It has been a remarkable year, and as horrifying as it's been to just shovel unending piles of money into making this structure, this 7-acre schwood work, the upside to all of it is you get to feel highly diversified, and you get to put yourself in a position where you can take advantage and you can say yes to a lot of things that other people have to say no to. So what'll be interesting, I just realized that among other things, because we've decoupled Skype from for the video side of things from the audio side of things with the Opal device, Justin Robert Young has this kind of like back door that he could just show up at any moment, and he could show up in audio before ever bothering to call in video. And I found myself, I've got this low-grade paranoia. I just keep muting the send feed on that Opal device, because knowing that there is a very small, very trusted group of people who have the ability to tune in and hear it, doesn't matter, because you can love somebody, you can respect them, you can trust them with all of your being, and still accidentally say, do, or make a sound that you wish they didn't have to hear. So if anybody ever tries to call into the show and they're not able to hear anything, just know I'm doing you a favor, man. How about that? So right now, as I understand it, Justin is over on Daily Tech News Show, and there's going to be a little bit of time before he joins us. So let's do this. Let's do something that used to be Justin's bit in the early days of the BB Live show. We would do rapid fire. He would just take yes or no, one or the other questions, as fast as the chat would give them to him, and he would give an answer. So I'm going to steal that bit. So give me an either or, just in the chat as fast as you're able, and I'll tell you which one is what. Tits or ass? Ass. Favorite Night Attack game from recent past? Ooh, that's a tough one. I can't wait for us to play a game that is not one we designed. What else? Bone-in or boneless wings? Boneless wings are not even a thing. I don't believe in them. They're just chicken nuggets that are flavored. Too infantile by a lot. I mean, as we talked about yesterday, like part of the appeal to wings are that they're always kind of terrible. Frame rate or game on? I think I'm going to go game on, because I still get to live the frame rate lifestyle. Mild or hot? It's got to be hot, even though I hate it. Yes or no? Diamond Club are we still doing the thing at the 7-acre schwood? Yeah, no, of course, 100%. Book or audiobook? That's got to be audiobook, right? In fact, that's on you guys to try to convince me that there's any value to a traditional book. Tea or coffee? I didn't expect to find that one hard. I think tea. Yeah. But none of that. First of all, anyone who puts cream or sugar in anything is a bad person. Demon Hunter or Warrior? Oh, what a good question. We'll talk about this. We will talk about the fact that I got to dominate as a Dragon Warrior today. Oh, it was delightful. Do I have a problem with the nugs? No, not when they're nuggets. Yes, I have a problem when you pretend they're chicken wings. +1 boneless wings are just really good chicken nuggets. Would you try soy sauce flavored ice cream? 100%. In fact, I may, on this very stream, go get some ice cream, pour soy sauce on it, and brag about how good it is. Favorite cocktail was, back in the day, the Mexican martini, created right here in Austin, Texas at Trudy's. It's been knocked off by a lot of other folks, but Trudy's, man, they shut down multiple of these places. Hold on. Doggone it, Justin. I was in the middle of talking to everybody. I was stealing your bit with the rapid fire. Just the yes or no questions back and forth. And right now, there you are. There you are.
Yeah, baby.
All right. So, favorite cocktail. What's your favorite cocktail?
Ooh, I think that you're feeding me back to me.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? Here, I got to hit the mute. I forget. There's a new set of rules. We can't just call each other like we used to. How is that, my friend?
Oh, yeah. Now we're doing it. All right. So, sorry. What was the question again?
Favorite cocktail. I was saying how the Mexican martini at Trudy's used to be something truly special. They used to be so potent that they immediately cut you off after 2 of them. And I knew the world had changed when I ordered one and they just walked over to a tap on the wall and filled it with some green liquid. And I'm like, that's not the real thing. That's
because no one's making that potent, right? Like no one's doing that. I mean, like there's a reason why like Hunch Punch is known as death juice when college kids are making it, because they don't know how to proportion liquor. A restaurant who has their liquor license in tow very well knows exactly how to mix that. So yeah, I mean, I would say in my youth, it would be a rum and coke, and I would prefer a like Kraken rum or something, like a very dark rum, maybe even a dark and stormy for a while held the title. But really, these days, ever since we went to Scotland and went to a gin festival in Scotland, I have a very specific gin and tonic that I like to do. It's a Fever Tree tonic, St. George Botanivore gin, and then 3 shots of grapefruit bitters.
Is it a universal truth that whatever your first love is when it comes to booze and cocktails eventually becomes your nemesis and you never like it again? Because I have not had a straight up orange juice and vodka screwdriver in 20 years. And I don't know that I have any reason to go back and try.
You know, I never turned against a first love, but I certainly subscribe to the fact that the first booze that you puke on is just like, that's like an immediate ejection that you have a hard time going back to, because both Wild Turkey and Southern Comfort are just no-goes for me, even if I don't have another option.
Yeah, I made it back around to vodka, but the like I'll do it, and in fact I'll do like a vodka soda. Like in fact, where I came back around to is okay, vodka, we can dance, but don't you ever put on a disguise. Don't you ever hide behind another flavor. And that's why it's always vodka soda for me now, is because I want to know exactly what's going on.
Man. But vodka, I guess vodka doesn't really have a huge taste, right? Like it burns like alcohol.
It's so good at hiding behind other things that's why you can't trust it. And so that's our new relationship is, you look me in the eye and we both know exactly how many in we are and where we are on this dance.
Yeah, you know, I mean, the great canonical story from our friend Brett the Amtrekker Roundsville is when he was on Amtrekker, he was at this party and somebody's pouring drinks and he hands him the drink and he says, taste it. And he tastes it and he's like, oh yeah, I can barely taste the alcohol. The bartender snatches the drink back from him, pours more alcohol in, says, taste it again. He's like, oh, now I can definitely taste the alcohol. And the bartender goes, good, you need to respect your drink.
I mean, that's just it, man. You got to know you're playing with the snake. It's like, I mean, otherwise you find yourself for some reason watching the 3rd season of Westworld and you're convinced that it's not going to be a fucking rattlesnake that bites you yet again.
Did it do it again?
I don't know. I mean, not really. Yeah, you know what? We didn't get the chance to talk about it on Cord Killers because we had internet issues. But if I told myself this was an episode of Westworld, I got a little bit riled up and feisty and fussy about it. But if I told myself it was a Black Mirror episode, suddenly I thought it was a fine Black Mirror episode. So if you've ever wanted a fine Black Mirror episode with a little bit of wackiness to it, but also wanted to call it Westworld and have most of the Westworld cast, including, and also a random Aaron Paul, who I swear to God eats up every single second of scenery. Like, how can anybody act within 20 feet of him? He just runs circles around everyone. It's brutal. It's stop the fight. Stop the fight. He's already dead.
It really does show you what an amazing actor Bryan Cranston was, that like he could not only clearly, like as they stepped into the room together, make Aaron Paul the second banana, but like only have that dynamic. I mean, not hold his own, but just be like, yes, he's subordinate to me because I'm that good of an actor. When you're right, when you see Aaron Paul around other people, you're like, oh, he's like just a ball of intensity that cannot be confined. You know, like there's a certain unconquerability to him. Can I just tell you a fun little story here?
Sure.
So if we go back a few days on this happy hour, we had the one and only Merrill Barr, our man in Hollywood, giving us all the hot entertainment gossip, and we made
my God,
a bet with him.
Yes. Oh, please keep telling this story. Go on.
Well, number one, we indeed have won the bet. He was not able to hold off during episode 3 of Tiger King.
That was the do or die moment. If you could physically start episode 3 and then walk away, we were going to give him $50, and he was not able to.
Was not able to. And 1 minute sliding like a cartoon Mary Poppins penguin into my DMs is one Merrill Barr with this 3 words: dude! Exclamation point. The suicide! Exclamation point. So he is barreling through Tiger King. We don't need to go any further about what he's referring to, but he is well into it. I have a feeling that Tiger King indeed remains undefeated.
Also, suicide. In no way could I apply that word. I nothing about that scene.
We will leave that for folks to go and yeah. I don't know how you would rule it though. If you're a medical examiner, like what else do you call it, right?
I mean, well, at this point, we are in spoiler territory, so I won't say what I would describe it as. But man, we almost did it. We a new record. We went 22 minutes before we started talking about Tiger King again. Did you watch that follow-up special yet?
No, that'll probably be a weekend thing. We're at the end of season 1 of The Crown, finished Schitt's Creek, so now we're in the market for another show. Not sure we could get back into season 2 with The Crown. We could find out what happens when the queen, who is dumb, continues to be dumb and be upset about it. But I don't know. Maybe we dip back into Tiger King.
You know what might be an interesting sojourn. As we know, a lot of shows get a boost when they are binged, right? They're just better as a bingeable experience. And
I would say weak seasons, I've found, tend to be better when you're not dwelling on it. Like there were shows that, like Lost season 2, I found very hard to watch. And then I've known people that have gone back and watched Lost, and they're like, yeah, I mean, the episodes weren't great, but, you just one after another after another.
Season 2 was also the writer's strike, and there's reasons. But
there was reasons why, yeah.
So let me give you this pitch. It's only 3 seasons long. You absolutely love and have mad respect for the principal actor who gets to play multiple characters, and a global pandemic plays a relevant role, not in the current moment, but in the shaping of the political reality that this series takes place in. Do you have any guess what I'm talking about?
No, go ahead.
Counterpart. The Amazon was it an Amazon original, or it was on Star? No, it was on Stars. J.K. Simmons.
Yeah, I have never seen it.
Do you know anything about it?
I know that it's 2 people, and there's like some reality thing and bleep bop blurb.
Yeah. I hope I get the name right. Justin Marks wrote and developed and did it. It was his vehicle. It takes place in modern times, but it's very much about an East Germany, West Germany. So imagine instead of a Cold War political, communist bloc versus capitalism divide, imagine they are two split realities. The world split in the late 80s, around the time that the Berlin Wall fell. And in one of the realities, a plague took over and an awful lot of people died. So they are behind the times. Also, the technology that opens the rift or whatever is firmly rooted in the 1980s. So there's a reason to see all of that classic, beige, yellow Apple IIes and all that stuff. But everybody has a counterpart, some of whom are still alive, some of whom are not alive. And so there's a game of spies of like, oh, wait, this person has no counterpart, or they very tightly control the border between the two worlds. And most people don't even know about the other world. It's super top secret to go for the other. But there are times and there are precedents where somebody goes and steps in for somebody else in the other world. And spoiler alert, one of those worlds is better than the other. Another awesome parallel to capitalism versus communist bloc stuff. We watched it week over week, and I liked it a lot. I gotta guess it's even better just to scoop it all up, and even doubly better if you watch it as just a play pretend of what we happen. It looks by all accounts like we're living in the timeline where the pandemic's not great, but we're going to get past it and recover. If you want to play pretend, imagine what 30 years from now might look like where it didn't go so great, and there's another alternate timeline where they don't have to deal with it. It's fascinating. I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Well, it looks like season 1 is on Prime Video, possibly without a Star subscription. So maybe I'll check that out.
Yeah. I don't want to. One of the best parts.
Oh yeah, no. Season 1 and 2 included with Prime.
One of the best parts, of course, J.K. Simmons. Spoiler alert: talented actor. It's so much fun watching him play with nuance. One of my favorite things to see actors do is play two characters, but then also play a version of one of the two characters, trying to do their best impression of the other character. And there is a conceit and a reason why J.K. Simmons, as one version of himself, has to pretend to be the other version of himself. And you can see him just exactly not nailing it. It's a delight. I love all of that stuff.
One of my favorite things is when actors have to play actors that are acting poorly. Birdman had a lot of this, where it's like you're watching somebody act, and initially you're like, is this good or bad? Or is this supposed to be good or bad? And then someone's like, the director comes in and they're like, stop, this sucks. This is garbage. You suck. You're a sucky garbage actor. And like, you have to do it like this. And then it's like, oh, that's good acting. I have no idea how to spot bad acting per se, but I sure know good acting when when actors are turning on the jets.
So this is why, and I'm gonna have to talk to the Cord Killers crew about this. I don't think I'm gonna let myself watch Barry week over week when it comes back. I think I will obsess too much 1 week at a time about it having that whole Hollywood has its own head up its own butt and acting is important. Yeah. Hooray for acting. Like that's the parts I don't like about it. But I think if I burst through it, I'll like it quite a bit.
Yeah. It's it's one of those things where you do realize that there is a craft to it. Obviously, we all enjoy it for a certain reason. I just read here that Counterpart does not have a season 3; that it was canceled. So I guess seasons 1 and 2 are going to be it.
Man, why did I think there was a third season? I know that. Man, I guess it just, the story felt big enough that I guess I wasn't willing to tell myself that could all happen in just the Spirits. They did it in only 2 seasons. I can't believe it.
Hey, Brian, do you want to get into a little entertainment news?
Yeah, but I also want to talk very, very briefly about what I was chatting with the crowd. I know you were doing DTNS. I know you were doing your politics stuff, and you were streaming. Snuck on the stream, getting better at this vMix stuff, learning more about using the board and all that stuff. Also, different world in Hearthstone right now. Everything's kind of upside down, new meta. And so everybody in Hearthstone is trying on this new class, Demon Hunter.
Yep.
As they should. It's the first new class that they've made since the whole game
the original.
Began.
Yep.
So I go to hsreplay.net and I'm not going to pretend to win the race of being good at Demon Hunter. But what I can do is find out the statistically best possible deck to crush anybody trying to be good at Demon Hunter. And oh my God, it was fun. On the live stream, I started playing Jeff Wayne's musical version of War of the Worlds. So I'm listening to Sir Richard Burton talk about the unstoppable killing force of the Martians in their fighting machines as they use the heat ray to vaporize humanity around. And as they try to rally, they're like babes in the woods getting destroyed. And I'm winning game after game after game. At legend level, I think I went like 8-2. It was one of the best 2 hours I've ever experienced in all of Hearthstone.
What deck were you playing?
I ended up, I had never played this, Dragon Hunter. Dragon Hunter apparently has a 75% win rate against Demon Hunter.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't know what this thing is. I'm just going to go. And all I know is I ran into Demon Hunters and I just, oh God, it was delightful. It was delightful.
I actually had a good run with Spell Mage, but that stalled a little bit, and I do need to put a little bit more time and effort into figuring out like what my best mulligan cards are. But maybe I'll try out that as well.
It was fun. It was really, really fun. And you know when it's a bad matchup. But everything seemed so a fait accompli that the moment that it's like spin the wheel, find me somebody to fight against, and I saw the words Demon Hunter, and I was already out of my seat celebrating because I already knew that it got to be another shit stomping. And part of it is because everybody's getting their sea legs trying to figure out how to play the game, and the other thing is no, seriously, it was amazing.
Well, congratulations, legend player Brian Brushwood. Certainly you continue to kill it on Hearthstone. All right, here, I got some entertainment news for you.
Hit me up.
Have you been following what's happening with the WWE in Florida?
Not in Florida. Last I heard, they did WrestleMania without an audience, and it was very cinematic, very avant-garde, very out there, and by most accounts, very well beloved by longtime fans.
Well, I don't know if you've noticed, but there's a pandemic happening, Brian, and many states have shelter-at-home orders statewide. Florida's one of them. But despite the fact that the initial stay-at-home order would seem to indicate that WWE would be unable to record their shows in their performance center in Orlando, the state then amended its shelter-at-home order to allow national broadcasts with national audiences that will allow WWE to continue to produce live programming from their performance center in Orlando, Florida.
Okay, there's two directions we could take this conversation. I'll let you drive. One makes me wonder if, and this is like the legal argument thing, like if that's true, if that's the reason, then doesn't that also justify anybody with the podcast being able to do whatever they want, producing whatever they want there?
Yeah, so not only podcasts, but other sporting events. You've seen now boxing promoters saying like, all right, well, crap, if we could do that, then hell, WWE's already got a ring. Like, let's just put boxers in there when they're not shooting wrestling, and we'll shoot boxing. UFC also, which has been adamant that they're going to be the first sport that will be back on a regular schedule, now is circling around that, as well as other television products that have national audiences that currently have all of their staff at home.
So here's my question, and I don't think I'm talking out of school, and I think I probably mentioned this maybe on Tuesday night's Night Attack, but like a couple of sponsors were saying, give us a few minutes before we decide to write you a check for the Monorogue. The day we hit the top of the curve, that curve that we've been all fighting to flatten, like 1 foot on the other side of that curve, this motherfucking phone has been ringing off the hook. It feels like people are ready to get back to work and not have it look like a Zoom meeting. No,
you are lucky.
Okay.
Like from what I've seen and following some of these stories, influencer media, for which I think you would probably fall into,
right, somebody who can reach a very, very specifically targeted audience who very reliably tends to show up in reliable numbers. I think we've talked about it before, like the demographic on both Monorogue and Scam Nation, between the two, reliably 150 to 250,000 views from 96% male, 18 to 34. Like, that is a very specific, committed, targeted demographic.
Yeah. So you are doing well. Other people who have those kind of influencer relationships with an audience are doing well. What is dying on the vine is not only print ads, which have been print display ads, which are magazine ads, newspaper ads, that kind of stuff.
Or as we like to call them, marketing wishes. The wishing well of throw money in and wish that your soda will become more popular.
But also display ads on websites. Like, so that was like the more targeted version of those ads were the ads that are on blogs and news sites. They're dying too. So unless you can guarantee, and that's what you can do, you can say, you know exactly what demo you're talking to. You know, it is publicly available, the numbers that this is being shown to. And by and large, you can trust a YouTube metric in a way that maybe, Facebook is a bit dicey.
And even another couple of steps is, my guess is, any contract, let's say with the WWE or whatever, let's say you're going to spend $2 million on the WWE, the WWE does not want to hear you follow up with saying, why don't we use promo code WWE and we could track, just how profitable this relationship has been for us.
WWE, the money on WWE is interesting because this is not about advertising revenue. This is about their deal with their broadcast partners, because they get paid by USA. They might have a few ad slots that they can take money on.
Yeah.
But by and large, the thing that they get paid on is USA and Fox. Those are their two partners for their two flagship shows, Raw and SmackDown. And the rumor is that in those contracts, they are only allotted X amount of taped shows per year. Like, they get a taped show.
Everything else has to be live.
Everything else has to be live. And so between Vince McMahon's XFL going up in smoke, filing for bankruptcy, now they're selling the spare parts on it. The pandemic threatening these television contracts. The WWE's in trouble. They just fired a ton of people, and there is, I think, a non-zero chance, and not a lot of people are saying this. There's a non-zero chance that that Vince McMahon might sell this thing. Like if all of a sudden Disney comes a calling and says, hey, you're pretty close to bankruptcy on this thing. How would you like to come into the warm embrace of a international conglomerate?
Who owns what parts of everything? Because we've heard stories of various wrestlers who have had to go to different leagues and they couldn't use the name that they were at the other league and so on. And but I assume that to some extent they had to change characters enough to squint and say, no, Cactus Jack is a totally different person. But ultimately, I mean, like, who owns what? What would they?
WWE, everything. They own the tape library. They own the characters. They own the names. They own the iconography. They own everything. Now, every once in a while, you get into a situation where somebody might own a little bit of it. The biggest thing that winds up getting replaced are music rights, because there are people that, have this iconic music that eventually the artist, because of the way music royalties go, the WWE doesn't own that, or at least own it in the way that they can just never pay the artist again. But there's definitely a world, I think, that somebody might come in and swoop them up if Vince McMahon gets into dire enough financial straits.
That the biggest factor to me is Vince McMahon is of an age where I think that factors in the fuck it aspect. Like, he is of an appropriate age to say fuck it and walk away.
If he indeed were a normal human being, yes, I totally
However,
agree.
I saw the cover of Men's Health Fitness magazine where the dude is roided as fuck. Yes, that's a good point.
This is the man who once got so angry that on national television, he ripped not one, but both of his quads. He ripped one trying to get into the ring, at which point he's in real life very, very angry, but he just had to sit angrily and yell at people because he had ripped his quad, and then ripped the other one trying to continue to walk on his ripped quad, and rip the other one.
In the chat, I'm seeing people say Disney doesn't seem like a good steward for WWE. Think about the synergy, though, because Disney is ESPN, and ESPN, I mean, that would be some kind of wonderful, like, if what you wanted to do is shake things up. And like, imagine a world where Disney buys WWE and they say WWE is always going to be WWE. We're now starting an offshoot called the WWE Olympics that is never scripted, does obey these things, does have a reason to be reported on as regular sports news. And whether it's arm wrestling, whether it's feats or training, I don't know. I think that there's lots to play with there, because I think at this point it's a well-beloved cast of characters, well-beloved franchise, and if anything, Disney is in a position to figure out how to expand that into something besides I became famous as a wrestler, now I'm an actor, because right now that's all we ever see.
I mean, do you think that they wouldn't like to build the Hulk Hogan roller coaster? Like, do you think that they wouldn't like to leverage like all of these beloved elements of 80s iconography, 90s iconography into gigantic merchandising things, which the WWE has already done a good job on?
How much money would you pay to have a top quality AAA theme park ride based on They Live? And it begins when you put on the sunglasses, and then all of a sudden you see the world as it actually is, and you've got like a VR you're there to kick ass and chew bubblegum.
I mean,
which, by the way, I understand this has nothing to do with WWE, but I can't shake this thought now.
I would view it more as a Halloween Horror Nights thing than a permanent theme park thing. But totally, holy shit, yeah, that'd be fucking great. Brian, changing the topic to a They Live roller coaster and then immediately leaving the show.
Sorry, I thought you would have enough to talk about that I could reposition the Halo lights. I was wrong. It's fine. Hey, how can I put this? I don't want to say I'm afraid of this. I don't want to say that there's anything bad about it, but if the coronavirus vanished tomorrow, I would be very sad if you told me, and that's why we don't need to do happy hour anymore. Like, I don't know that we ever stopped doing this because I'm enjoying it a lot.
No, I mean, I'll tell you what, as long as people dig it, then we'll figure it out. I think right now, obviously it's up to the audience. So if you enjoy it, then let us know. If it's something that's cluttering up your RSS feed, then let us know that as well, because the goal here was that we just continue to make more and more live entertainment, and we just demonstrate to people that we give a fuck about them having something to do during the day, to watch us live or to listen to us afterward.
Volkai in the chat points out that the Diamond Club book seems to have vanished from his iTunes and Kindle's libraries. If I remember correctly, that was because that was published.
That was a
Vuk
thing, right?
Right, and then Vuk no longer exists. So I assume all of that got pulled. We want to put it back, but the only copy I could find of it is I was trying to find it so I could take excerpts to share with someone. And no matter where I looked in any of the Google Drives, I eventually had to start searching for character names like Brianna Young and stuff. And I eventually found a file in a Google Drive, all caps, that just said "total scam." And then I opened it, and it was the working doc for the Diamond Club. So we're a bit in limbo. I don't know that if anybody has a PDF or an EPUB version of that, hold on to that, pass that around.
Well, yeah, or get it to us, and we'll republish it. I don't think that any of us. Well, let me put it this way. Even if we were getting $5 a month from people buying the Diamond Club, we would probably like that $5 a month, and we probably would have liked the $5 a month over the last 4 years when Vuk went away and the buying opportunity of the book went away. So
okay, I got a question.
Let us know.
I got a question. This is some high stakes, next level shit. Since we did the Diamond,
by the way, somebody says the EPUB version, they have it. So JustinRobertYoung@gmail.com. Just send it to my way.
Yeah. So we made the first Diamond Club erotic fiction book intentionally to look and seem to be in the vein of 50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah.
I did not realize we sort of threw around the numbers that we were selling. Over 30,000 copies sold. Now, granted, it was only 99 cents each, and we only got pennies on every dollar sold or whatever. Sure. And we spent all of that money on a party at
Dragon Con. More than what we got. We spent a lot of money on that party.
But now I have since learned that in certain categories at certain times of year, as few as 6,000 copies of a book being sold all at once at launch is enough to get you on the New York Times bestseller list. We were not interested in playing that game at all, right? No. So, couple of things. Number one, after all of that happened, there is now another series of books called the Diamond Club that has nothing to do with us.
Nope.
That weirdly seems to be...
That is also erotic fiction.
Right? Seems to be them trying to ride our coattails of us trying to ride the coattails of 50 Shades of Grey. What if we re-release the Diamond Club with an aggressively similar look to the current erotic fiction Diamond Club series, as if to invite the PR nightmare of who ripped off who?
I mean, I don't know if there would be a lot of I don't know if there'd be a lot of pee. I don't know if there'd be a lot of the public caring about it.
Oh, there'll be a lot of pee. I guarantee you. This is... I've read the book.
No, there's many peas. Peas to beat the band. A sea of peas, we should have called it. But there's... I would like to just put it back out there. I'd love to make a big deal about it. And... it's one of those things that I still haven't read all of it, but I certainly have read enough of it to know that there's some really funny stuff in there. It is a hilarious book.
Yes. Well, maybe the way we do it is we decide to do a sequel, and you and I have had ideas about how to do a sequel that doesn't require Chat Realm to lift a finger, but Maybe we maybe we re-release and go to a trilogy or something.
Yes, the second coming.
The second coming of the Diamond Club.
Yeah, there's a lot there. There's a lot that we could unpack.
Houston, the P is in the sea.
Hey, Gary, here. I had this idea. This was introduced to me on the show, but I've continued to follow the subreddit No Stupid Questions.
Mm-hmm.
Great subreddit. Maybe the most pure subreddit in history. Like, I don't know.
The only way I will believe you is if every response is kind and patient. Is that the case?
It is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
No, people ask dumb questions and other people just, say the number one answer is never a mock. The number one answer is always the answer to the stupid question. The stupid question today, or the not stupid question,
because there are no stupid questions.
There are no stupid questions. Why don't we build a bridge from Los Angeles to Hawaii? And it was such a ludicrous concept that, like, I can't shake it from my head. I love it so much. And the discussion in the comments was all about, like, oh, well, the longest bridge in existence is 100 miles. Los Angeles to Hawaii is 2,500 miles. You couldn't drive it in one day, so there would have to be hotels on the bridge. Like, I just love every bit of this idea for whatever reason.
And then one curious character just responded with the words, "Let me get a pen." And then you look at his Reddit tag and it says the real Elon Musk. like weirdly, I could see him setting up a bullet train that would do that.
Yeah, I mean, I love the idea of, like, as it was 27 hours to drive theoretically. That's what they figured out, of like a race from LA to Hawaii on this bridge where, like, you have these strategic places where you sleep or whatever, like just having like a Cannonball Run style movie set in a bizarre future where there's a bridge from LA to Hawaii.
When now you got me thinking. Okay, No Stupid Questions. That's the name of the subreddit.
Yeah.
All right, I'm in. What other overlooked
dude, totally
subreddits are out there?
I don't know. I'm in and out on some of them. Like, they're so finicky. Meme economy is pretty good. That's pretty reliable. At least in terms of new memes. Probably the one that I enjoy the most is history memes.
Did we already talk about synchronized chickens? Was that one that we already discussed?
No.
It was one it was one of those Ask Reddit things, like, what's a sub that deserves much more attention? And it was here, let me bring it up for you. /r/synchronized chickens. There we go. It was apparently, much like Dee's Knees, it was very beloved by a small group of people for some amount of time and then never went anywhere. But it is exactly what it sounds like. There we go. Here's some synchronized chickens. It's chickens that are moving in perfect synchronicity. There we go. How about some lake chickens? These are definitely some kind of lake birds, perfectly synchronized.
That's fucking great.
Then there's synchronized chickens from video games. Oh, here we go. Look at these guys scratching. Come on.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, so that's my favorite right now.
That's good. I need more of that. I mean, because, like, I'll tell you, presidential memes is falling apart. Am I the asshole has become really formulaic.
Yeah, is the answer always yes?
No, the answer is always no. That's the ironic thing, because the things that get up to the top are things where it's like, am I the asshole for kicking my mom down a flight of stairs? And you're like, oh my, I gotta click on this. This guy has either done something horrifying or people are going to justify his actions. But then it's like, I came home from school one day and found that my mom had lit herself on fire. So I, trying to put her out with a towel, accidentally, she jumped back and fell down the stairs. And then she blamed me. Am I the asshole? And then it's always NTA, not the asshole. You were just trying to put your mom out. Like, it's, I don't know. I feel like once you've kind of seen enough of them, you sort of pick up the tropes.
I happened to be working at Merck when I cured polio, but I didn't patent the vaccine. Now they're out millions of dollars. Am I the asshole?
Yeah, basically. That's kind of, am I the asshole? So I need more silly ones. I need more silly Reddits, because those at least bring a smile to my face, and they're not just like horrifying. Although, I don't know, most of the politics stuff I've kind of weeded out, or has been weeded out for me, because
everything's been decided outside of the big one.
No. Because I stopped following r/politics, and then I had stopped following _Donald for a while, and then I got on it, but then they got banned, or like Reddit like took away all their admins or something like that, and so it's a ghost town, and it just never appears on my feed again.
I hesitate to even bring this up because I preemptively imagine I start this and the whole internet sees your eye roll, and I see your eye roll. We all saw your eyes roll. Money on the table, even money bet. Does Justin Amash run as third-party libertarian candidate?
Based on the rumors yesterday, yeah.
Really?
I mean, the rumors yesterday were that he's seriously considering it, and 9 times out of 10, you don't see those stories unless they're going to do it.
And do you think that he becomes the nadir of the election? Or I assume both sides will decide he's the nadir. Whatever side loses is going to say that it was because of Justin Amash.
It really depends. I mean, my instinct is still to say that he is not going to be a factor, but then again, that would forget the fact that Jill Stein is still somebody that people remember because they blame her for Hillary losing.
It's a really good point. I'm glad you brought that up because it has been a while since I have checked to see if Jill Stein still follows me on Twitter. Hold on.
So, yeah, I mean, I would say it's more likely that people blame Justin Amash if Biden loses and some of the never Trump vote goes to Amash, because I kind of feel like if Trump loses, then there will be other boogeymen to blame.
That's so wild.
Justin Amash.
I would think that Justin Amash would be a scarier thing to the Republican Party than to the Democrat side.
Well, I was thinking
because
about it.
There's a lot of people who are holding their nose and planning to vote for Trump, but that's interesting.
Well, but I think his biggest electoral audience, especially in the swing states, are never Trumpers, right? People that didn't like Trump, that don't like Trump.
Yeah.
And now just are disgusted by him and don't want to vote for him. And if you're that, then like those are votes that Biden's counting on. Like Biden wants you to be so disgusted with Trump that you vote for him. And Justin Amash would be a way station for a former Republican before they get to full Democratic protest vote.
He's 39 years old. Whether he ever makes it to a debate or not, can you imagine just like it's like he's doing gymnastics and backflips by completing his sentences. He's like, look at this trick I could do. It's called talking in complete sentences, having coherent thoughts, remembering the names and places of things. Hey!
He should just as fast as he can rattle off all the addresses he's ever lived at, right?
No matter what the question is, he responds: United States, Panama, Mexico, Canada, Haiti, Jamaica, Peru.
No, absolutely. It's cognition is really not on the menu in November, as it turns out.
At the end of the debate that he crushes, he goes, "Oh, and one more thing. I'm on mescaline right now.
Yeah. Also, I've been drinking since noon. See you later. I'll tell you what, that's going to be how we go out here, Bri.
Yeah. No, I guess that's it. We're already up against the hour. Thank you to everybody who joins us every single day, 5 o'clock East Coast, 2 o'clock West Coast, for our little happy hour. Sometimes we're both here. Sometimes we have guests. And sometimes it's fun, funny, and wonderful, but it's always magical. And we love you guys for everything that you make possible for us, he said very slowly as he got ready to tee back up the music that's coming in right now. Thank you, guys. Bye.
See ya.